Conversation Podcast. I'm Elissa. If this is your first time joining me, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've been listening to me for a while, I appreciate you joining me. I want to first say my socials are on Instagram, Dick and Conversation underscore podcast. My Facebook page is Dick and Conversation Podcast. And my email is dickandconvo@gmail.com. Hopefully, you're watching me on the YouTube channel. If not, you can always go over to my YouTube channel, Dick and Conversation Podcast YouTube channel. So, I have my first guest for the year, female guest for the year. I've had the men on, and this today I'm having Astonishing Figures. I'd like to thank her for joining me. And she gave me the topic that we're going to talk about today. So before we jump into it and she introduces herself, I want to first pull up the clip so that you will know exactly what we're going to discuss and then you'll get to know her. So hold on as I pull this up.
A lot of women don't accept the reality that men take respect over love any
Absolutely.
day, any
Absolutely.
day, every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Respect me before you
Mhm.
love me. And then women position themselves where it's like, well, I'll take safety over love.
Damn.
Safety, huh?
So as long as I feel safe with you, I don't have to be in love with you. Because I'll marry the man that I respect before I marry the man that I'm in love with.
You know,
Okay, so I want to introduce to everyone. I'm familiar with her, but I want to introduce her to everyone. Everyone, please welcome Astonishing Figures. Please tell us about yourself.
Hello, hello, hello. Well, I am so excited about this topic. It's your girl, Astonishing Figure, and you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. But I came up with Astonishing Figure because I really want to highlight individuals that's doing good things and bringing joy into the community. I also do motivational speaking. I allow people to give their information while also giving them information to help them to have a better, daily life. Because we all know we go through things on a daily. And the number one thing that we go through is relationships. So I felt the topic was very, very good. And Lisa said, come on, let's do
Yes.
it.
You're the first guest I've ever had that said, let's talk about this because
Yes.
I usually have the topic going. And first of all, let me apologize. I have laryngitis, but I don't usually sound like this, but it's okay. You're the first person when I have been saying, "Hey, I would love for you to be on the show. Hey, you should come do an episode." And you said, "Let's do this topic." So when you
Let's
said,
do it.
"Let's do this topic," I'm like, "Yeah, let's do this topic." I'm all in. I'm ready to do it. So, um,
You
what
you
made? No, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay. So in regards to relationships, we all know, we heard about it. Men are from a different planet than women. So we think differently. We respond differently. We live our daily lives differently than men. So it was very interesting when I heard that men value respect. And this stood out to me due to the fact that because a man is driven by that thing we call an ego,
Mm,
which is something that is there to protect us, but used differently, it gets a little weird. It gets a little weird. But men deal in ego more frequently, let me say that, than women do. Women are naturally, I guess, nurturers and healers and protect. they take care of the babies, they take care of the elderlies. They are always in that nature type of role. So for the young lady to say that a woman needs safety or a woman chooses safety, that says that she wants to be in her feminine role. She wants to be 100% feminine. Why a man is respect, right? That ego, that masculine. They want to be in their 100% masculine role. So I understand this topic, but from a different perspective, because this is our natural habitat. This is how we are who we are. This is why women are feminine, and we don't like to be in our masculine, but if we have to, then that's what we have to do. And a man thrives in his masculine energy. That is what he feels great about. So I wasn't surprised that they said safety and respect. I was not surprised, and I wanted to really touch bases on the bottom line of our natural being, who we actually are. And that's what she was pretty much saying. This is how we operate. This is old school ways. So
I polled a lot, and I'm trying to control my facial expressions, but that's just me. I polled about 20 something men, text, inbox, call, and I asked them all, what do you prefer in your relationship? All but one said
okay.
respect over love. All but one. It was one person who says, I would prefer the love. Because if you love me, you will
You don't.
respect me. I used
There
to
it is.
think that. Now I used to think that too. Um, but in talking to these men, because men always give a perspective that we just don't necessarily consider.
Yeah.
They said the thing I heard from one man that the thing is, if I ask what you love about me and you can actually list it, that means it can go away. So if you love
Mhm.
that I'm a great provider, or you love that, I have a nice body, or I love that this woman is a good cook, or I love she has beautiful hair, or her shape, or she's a good listener, what happens if she
Mhm.
goes deaf? What happens if
Mhm.
she can't take care of herself? What happens if when the shape changes of the man? What happens when he loses his ability to be a provider and he's elderly and has to be taken care of? Does the love go away? But if you
Right.
respect me, and even if you fall out of love with me, the respect will go beyond that. And I was like, I never thought of it that way. And I had another guy who told me, he says, ask anybody why they married the person that they married. He said, and I guarantee you, they're not going to lead with love. I was like, what?
Yes.
He said, they're going to say, well, they did this, they're a good provider, they're great with kids, they this, that, and the other. He said, and then love will show up maybe sixth or seventh on the list. He
Mhm.
said,
Mhm.
love comes and goes. I was
Yes.
like, what? And I said, and that's why you prefer the respect? Yes. Another person that I polled said exactly what you said. He said, women are nurturers. That's us by
Mhm.
nature. We're caregivers. Men tend to be providers. They tend to be a bit harder. They're not soft. They're not,
Yeah.
soft and squishy and vulnerable and sensitive. That's just not us. But I was laughing because I always said I like a little toughness, probably because like you say, we want to be vulnerable, but we don't have to be. I had to be a bit tougher because I was a single mom, because I had a leadership position in my
Yep.
in my company, so I was a little bit
Mhm.
tougher. I always said I like a man that make me turn my head and say, "What did you just say to me?" And he gonna say it again, like
And he gonna
what
say
I
it again.
he gonna
Absolutely.
say it again. And I'm like, oh, okay. I just want to make sure I heard what you said. You know what I'm saying? Just, that you're strong with what you're saying.
Right.
I
And
don't want no
you
weak one.
yeah, and a lot of the way the world has came about, unfortunately, women, like you said, have had to put on that masculine role to survive. But naturally we want to be um, nurtured. We want to make sure that our children and our husband or significant other is taken care of. Like that's what we do. That's what makes us happy. So, and I hear what you're saying in regards to the polls that you were taking. If I respect you, I'm going to automatically love you. If you bring me safety, I'm going to automatically love you because it's going to be some type of connection that we have. So maybe love is not. Tony Braxton said love should have brought you home last night. I don't know
Hear
what I
me
just.
snoring. You should have been right next to me, rubbing your feet together.
Right, but if you respected that woman, you would have went home. Or
Right.
if you value, or if you wanted to provide a safe space emotionally for that woman, you would have been home. So love is something that is the it comes, like you said, it comes with the territory.
Hmm.
If you are a good friend, you're going to love that person. You're going to treat them. I don't know. Love is not what she meant. I don't think, because you're going to automatically love that person. If you respect that person, love is going to come. If you provide safety to that person, love is going to come. You guys are going to grow a type of intimacy for each other. This is why they have arranged marriages and people stay together forever. They didn't love that person. They didn't even know that person. But something said, I respect that man for taking on this role, even though he don't know me. I respect him for that. And then the man says, I'm going to provide safety to that woman, even though I don't know her. So what tied them together? Love's going to automatically happen, if that makes sense.
I'm with you on the I don't know if love is the best word for it. I have, and I done talked about them on here, been in relationships where I believe they loved me. I believed y'all loved me. But they did not provide safety. There was no safety. And when I'm saying safety, so let me explain this. There was no um there two kinds of safety that I experienced not
Right,
having.
right. Yep.
One was a psychological safety. And I know that's a corporate term where you can feel to speak freely in meetings, but it has transcended into my life. I did not have a psychological safety, and women, men, some of y'all know, when you with your partner and you say, you know what, I was thinking or I was feeling, they going like, oh, here we go. My
Yep.
psychological safety is not there. I do
Yep.
not feel that I can now say what I thought or what I felt without some type of retaliation of, well, I felt like you don't support me. And it's like, "Oh, you just feel everything is about you. And why I always have to be the one that reinforce you. You should have self-confidence in yourself." That I don't have psychological safety because
Yep.
now I won't tell you how I feel anymore because I don't feel safe. The other kind of safety I needed was the mental safety of being protected. And I'm saying it's like emotional, mental, however. I've been in relationships where outside influences, and
Yep.
this go way back to my first little boyfriend when I was 15. I hope he ain't
Ooh.
watching. If he is, he know
Well,
I
he
ain't
might be.
lying. If
Yeah,
he is, he
look.
know I ain't lying. Well, where the influence of others changed their dynamic with me, where that
Yep.
an outside person, brother, friend, cousin, whoever, felt a particular way about me and told them, causing them to act differently towards me, which at that point I felt under attack because your person in your life changed or influenced you and you're acting on their behalf. And that has been
Mm-hmm.
a common trend for some decades in my life where I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe where if I'm dealing with a guy, someone comes to say something bad about me, be like, ho, 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 you ain't gonna talk bad about her to me. Now you can feel how you feel. I hear what you're saying, but don't talk about her to me. That has been from 15 to 50
Right,
where
right,
I've had that experience. It's like I don't feel safe. I don't feel you're a protector of me. I feel mentally and emotionally vulnerable. There's no safety
right.
there.
And vulnerability is something that a lot of people steer away from because they
Hmm.
feel it's some type of weakness. But we thrive in it because, again, we are natural people. So I want to be vulnerable around my person all
Yes.
the time,
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
Uh, I want to be like, oh my God, I can't open up the door,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But when you are put in a situation where somebody is making you feel bad for being vulnerable,
Hmm.
then that's not even your issue. I always tell people, don't walk around with other people's insecurities upon you. That's somebody else's insecurity. That is what they are going through because somewhere in their brain, yeah, I said it ebonically, somewhere in their brain, they was chastised for being vulnerable, and now they turned it into vulnerability being a bad thing.
Mm.
So you
Mm.
must be vulnerable before you're ever courageous. So, and courage is another thing that people, oh, I'm strong. Yeah, you might can fight, but do you have courage?
Right.
Do you have courage?
Right. Right.
So our psychological perspective and our dynamics as individuals, men and women, I think that we have lost focus on what the importance of what we both bring to each other. I'm a woman is able to calm a man. It says that facts say that when a man hear a man's voice, it sounds like a train wreck. So their adrenaline, their ego is all the way up sky high. But when a man hears a woman voice, it sounds like music, like a symphony. So even when we're yelling or raising our voice, it could make them feel a masculine type of way, if that makes sense. But we have to, in order for us to be at one, we have to be in our pure form, and that's being a nurturer and a provider with no strings attached. My homegirl, I talked to my homegirl the other day, and she said, I did not sign up for an unhealed man. You didn't tell me you had these challenges before we got married. You didn't let me know your vulnerability because you thought it was wrong and I wouldn't accept you. You didn't come to me in your purest way. You didn't allow me to be the nurturer for us to work things out. And then 5 years down the road, we won't be where we are right now. You didn't allow me to be in my own energy of who I am as a woman to be like, all right, baby, everybody goes through things. But no, you're going to hit me in 5 years. And now we in an uproar instead of being upfront about your vulnerability. So
Mm.
that kind of stood out with me when she said that. I was like, oh, you didn't sign up for no unhealed man. I don't think we never did. We all haven't. And when you say, Alyssa, that we talk to our men and we say, okay, this is what's bothering me. They like, oh, I don't want to hear that. Oh,
There you
but
go.
why? Why am I not able to express my vulnerability so we can correct it appropriately? Why is it such a bad thing for you to confront? Why? Is it because you don't want to own up to responsibility?
Accountability.
Accountability, my bad. Yes,
It's
you
the
absolutely.
accountability of it.
That's what you're trying to avoid. You're not trying to avoid my feelings. So again, that's another person's insecurities upon you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is, and I get it, and I understand it. I always say empathetic to a fault. I understand that in the event I'm talking to you, that if I'm saying how I feel, chances are there's something wrong. There's something that needs to be addressed. There is something I'm going to pose that I feel you're responsible for that has
Yep.
me feeling not 100, which is, I get it. Now I'm about to be accused. So naturally, you go on a defense,
Yep.
which I've worked on that. Like, hey, let me tell you, what happened, because I'm trying to not put a person on the defense because they're not
Yes.
going to be willing to receive it, understand it. So that's why I've been saying about this, how I've been saying it several times on the podcast. Always point out the action when you did this, when you said that, when you don't, and then tell how it made me feel. It made me feel neglected, or made me feel not important, or not seen, or acknowledged, and then give the opportunity to clarify, is that what you wanted me to think or feel? And give them the opportunity to go like, no, I didn't mean to make you feel that way, or no, that's not what I didn't know I made you think that. So I give them an opportunity. I get it, and like I said, over the years, when I say, well, hey, I want to tell you something, talk about something, oh, here you go, the safety's gone. The safety is gone. Up until a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I would have said I want a man that I love over a man who made me feel safe.
Hmm.
But having had both, where I had a man who loved me but didn't provide
Mm-hmm.
safety, and then I had one to provide a safety, even though he didn't love me, but you couldn't say anything around me, to me, or about me, not in front of him.
Yeah.
Definitely not to me, in
Mm-hmm.
front of him. It was cut off like a hangnail. He was not playing with it. And I have that much respect. So now at this point, I probably would prefer the guy I respect and make me feel, well, not respect, that make me feel safe, over
Yes.
one who loves me. Because
Yeah.
you can love me, but still not love me in the way I need to be loved, or what it should look like to me. Because I'm discovering in my dating,
In my dating. Just leave
child,
it. Dating
in my
period.
dating,
Mm-hmm.
that what people think love looks like differs. What I
Ex-
think love should look like for me does not necessarily mean that the other person that I'm seeing
Bingo.
is what love looks like to them.
You are so you when you you are absolutely right because love has many different faces. Many different faces. When Tina Turner said, "What's love got to do with it?"
Hmm.
She meant I'm not here because of love.
Hmm.
I'm not doing this. I'm here because I need safety, right? I'm here because I need that protection.
Hmm.
Soon as she was able to identify that she was safe, she left
Right.
because she had to build her own safety.
Right.
So the love that man was showing, he thought he was showing her love. No, that's not the way she was giving love, or that's not the way she wanted love. That's the way you thought she wanted love.
Right.
And that's why as soon as she was able to find her own safety net, she went to where she had to go.
Right.
But she did not. She wasn't banking that on love at all.
Hmm.
Now I'm not telling anybody to stay in anything like that. But what I'm saying is that love is a thing that's not. A love is a word that is not like it used to be. I guess I want to say I don't know. It has many different faces, many different forms.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, It just, I would want to be, if I had to agree or disagree or give my spiel in regards, I am in love. I love you. That's why I feel safe with you.
Mm.
I love you. That's why I feel vulnerable with you. I love you. That's why I want to grow a future with you.
Mhm.
And I know who you are, and I know you're going to provide me the same thing back. You got to have that agreement in the first beginning. I think we are lacking that foundation, and we're building on a cracked up foundation that we think is going to maintain its stability when it still has cracks in it that needs to be addressed. And those cracks don't always, those cracks come from bad relationships that we had in the past, or how we grew up, how we were raised. Those are the cracks that I'm talking about. And we really have to fill those in before we actually say that I want to spend the rest of my being with you, because that his crack may break the foundation, or her crack may break the foundation. Um, so yeah, we just got to know that foundation. We got to know what, look, like you said, what their love language is. And if you guys want to, I can copy the 5 love language test. I strongly, did I say strongly? Let me say it one more time. Strongly
Two more
advise,
times.
yes, strongly advise for individuals to take that love language test. And I say take it every 2 years, because our love language changes.
Evolve. Evolve.
So I may have wanted gifts 2 years ago. Now I want some affection, because my sister is not doing well, or my brother is not doing well. So my love has kind of altered. I need affection from you at this point, because things in my life have changed. Also, the 16 personality test. Know who you are.
Mm.
Know what type of person you are, because there is no way that you can love a person if you're not loving on yourself. I think we was talking before the other day, Alyssa, and we were saying that sometimes in a relationship you feel insecure. Why am I insecure when I feel like I'm the baddest one out here alive?
I dare you to get another me.
Right, I dare ya. I dare ya. But why am I feeling insecure in this relationship?
Right.
It's because I didn't know myself. I didn't know that I still had some trauma that was affecting me. And yeah, I'm a social worker, so I be dealing with trauma all day. So I know it's about relationships, but we need to talk about the root of what is actually going on. We are asking, when you are in a relationship, you saying, hey, we agree to take care of one another. Okay, but what am I taking care of? Can I get it? Like, I hate to be technical like that, but what am I taking care of?
Hmm.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What, can you tell me? Are you still mad at your daddy for leaving you when you was younger? Because that's an issue. Or are you still mad that your mom didn't choose you or chose another relationship? Is that an issue? Let's be vulnerable in the beginning so we could be our authentic self 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road. So we can know each other as much as we know ourselves.
I'm still trying to learn myself. I can't lie. I
Absolutely.
because I change from week to week, and it's evolution. It's growth. I get it. It is
It's growth.
complete growth. The things that I thought I wanted, um, even last year at this time, I don't want anymore. I don't have the I keep saying I'm getting older. I don't have the patience for it or the energy for it. And it's
Yeah.
not no longer an expectation to have it. I used to say, and I still am. I'm a big proponent for marriage, even though I'm a divorcee. Fancy.
It
But I still want a great partnership. Do I have to get married again? Not necessarily, but I want a great partnership where they can complement me, understand, without it having to be work for them and work for me. Um, understand where my support needs to, when to support and how to support, because I get it. And yet, oh Yat, give you a little shout out. Yat and I have discussed this on his podcast and 42 Yat Life a few times. Give him shout outs a few times of what does it look like when you have to get whatever it is. If your love language is gifts, but your guy or girl or partner is spending all the time in the world with you, but they haven't bought you anything, that's the thing you're going to focus on. Like, you here with me, but why you bring me some flowers when you come home?
Yep.
Know what it looks like from, or what it looks like for your partner. Now, I'll admit I kind of shapeshifter and I try to understand what it is that a person feels they need and how to support them, how to show that there's love. If they need me to be a listener, I'm a listener. If you need me to give advice, I'm advice. If you need me to sit in the garage while you working on the truck, I'm gonna sit in the garage while you're working on the truck.
Yep.
How you need me to support. Now, what's happening is, I guess my way is not clear of how I need to be supported because I have yet to encounter it all in one person. In all honesty, I probably need about 5 husbands.
Well,
And
you
I'll
know
be
what
good.
it seems because it's really difficult when you are dealing with closed-minded people.
Mm,
Now you gotta want to, are they just listening to what you gotta say so you can be quiet, or are they really trying to learn you?
right.
You know, that's a difference, and you gotta understand that form. You gotta understand that form, because if not, you could think that they listening and the whole time they're not, and then time is wasted. Now you're about to crack somebody upside the head. Don't go to jail. I ain't got no bail money for nobody. Nobody. I don't. So get that clear understanding about, like, are you really trying to understand me, or do you, what are you, I always tell people, you have to understand this is my life too,
It is.
right? This is
It is.
my
I'm here
life
too.
too. I'm here too.
I'm here too.
And you know, I respect you and I value you and I appreciate you, but this is my life too.
Yeah.
And if I have to make the executive decision to exit the building because this is my life too,
Mhm.
then so be it.
Right. And I've had to do that several times and step back and just allow, out of whether I think you and I, out of love or respect, either way it go, to allow them to pursue what would make them happy and complete for them. Well, if
Yeah.
I'm giving all that I think that I supposed to give, or how you
Mm-hmm.
wanted me to give, or what I feel you need, or what you told me you need, but it still is not completing you in the interest of love, respect, and probably their safety, so I don't act a fool, I
Mm-hmm.
step
Yep.
away to allow them to pursue what they feel will make them happy and complete. If you love and respect that person. Now, I get there are a lot of people, and like I said, I talk about this on Yet too. There are a lot of people that want to hold on, and we trying to work
Yeah.
around it, and it's not getting better. And you've been doing this for years, and it's the same thing, and it's not getting better. Why? Instead of acknowledging, I'm not your person. I had a conversation with a young man today. God bless his heart and all his partner. He was explaining to me that he was being pursued by an individual who wanted to change him and
Mm-hmm.
how they felt he should respond to her. Like, you're not, I need you to do this and to do that. And he acknowledged to her, that's not good, because you're trying to change who I am for you. It would be the same as if I ask you to change for me.
Yep.
And he said that they were at an impasse, and he just did not let it go. Well, if you would just do this and just do that, I told him I remember being in a training class at work, and this guy said, it's men and women are this simple. A woman could meet a man and he could be everything she wanted, be like, he's a great guy. I just need him to do this. And a man
Mm-hmm.
could meet a woman and be like, she's the greatest woman ever. I hope she never changes. And I went like,
Yes.
what?
Yes. Yes.
I went, oh, is that what that is?
And okay.
Let it
Yeah.
let it go. Let it flow.
Okay. Listen. So because women have been put in different positions in their life, they haven't, and I'm not trying to, side with anybody, but because women have been put in different positions in their life, they had to be the provider, they had to be the protector, they had to be all of these different positions. Some women have control issues where they have to control that person as well. A man only had literally one role.
Mm,
One role. They're simple. They're simple. So if she don't change, we gonna be all right. If she don't change, we gonna be all right.
I
Because
never thought of that.
that's the way his mind operates. Because
Thought of that.
women have played this role, and it may not even be the role that you've played now. It's something called epigenetics, which is something that we get passed from generations to generations. No fault of our own, but our great great grandmother may have gave us this trait, and we're just now noticing that it's a problem now. So we like, oh dang, I didn't even know I had control issues. I didn't even know that I had to put my 2 cents in everything that's going on in this house.
Yeah.
But that is because we had to play so many roles in society.
Yes.
We don't even know how to just sit back
Yeah.
and let them do what it do.
And it's been a long time since I've had that where I've been able to kind of sit back. What you just said is exactly right. My grandmother raised what 8 kids by herself. She was a single mom, raised 8 kids in the sticks, the mud,
In the
the
stick, okay?
woods by herself. And then my
Yes.
mom, she was a single mom early on. So you're right. It is almost like a dysfunctional family heirloom that gets
Yep.
passed on, that I have to control everything. But that's because, and I can speak for myself, I don't know about anybody else, there was no plan B. I did not
Yep.
have that safety net. If I failed, I had two others, sorry, two
She got
others.
she got the laryngitis, y'all. The
Laryngitis is, and my, and it ain't the COVID, I hope. It
right.
is the COVID. You get old, the COVID, and it is because you have to. There is no plan B. If I make a poor decision, it affects the other two.
Yes.
Men do. They also, if you really have a man who
Hmm.
is, you know, in the role of what the traditional man is, making a decision and being responsible for the consequences of credit for his family, if it works out well or not. If he makes a decision, everyone, things work out well. If it goes bad, then everybody suffers.
Hmm.
But it's not where he's a dir- well, I ain't gonna say that because I know my phone will be buzzing before we end this
Oh,
podcast. I
oh,
I I, I pump the brakes.
pump your brakes. Okay. Okay. Okay.
My phone be lighting up before we say good night.
No, we don't want it to light up. But what we do want really is for people to not make excuses, but understand themselves. Understand um how some things was out of your control, but a lot of things are still in your control in regards to changing who you are once you identify what's going on. And I know you have to have somebody else look in and be like, you was wrong. You was wrong. And they have to be transparent. Again, because men and women are so different, they need one another They do. They're like the yin and the yang. They have to.
Yeah.
Because again, biologically, when a man hears a soft, pleasant voice, it's like a lullaby, literally. And it's like, I don't want to say a trance, but I want to say a trance. Because that's his vulnerable space. He's like, all right, yeah, it calms him down. Women hold so much power, both positive and negative. And we have to know how to use our power, not for, to beat anybody down or make anybody feel bad. And men too. Men hold, we look up to our men. Okay? We look up to them. They give us a sense of purpose outside of what we're doing for our professional life or as a mother. Our significant other gives us purpose to love, to have that softer side of us. And if that's not given, then it's all bad. I just want to say it's all bad. It's all bad. People throwing chairs and everything. Yeah. When we did, it is. I don't want to throw no chairs. I don't want to. I want to go out on a lovely date, and I want you to hold the door, and I want you to be a gentleman like you're supposed to, and I want you to value me like I respect you.
Mm. I just want the safety part. Like after she pointed that out and I put some thought into it, my voice is getting deeper. I'm starting to sound like Melvin again, and Temptations. I put some thought into it. I do want the
Remember,
safety. I want to be able to speak and say and think without the fear of their reaction making me want to shut down and not talk. Overall, it comes and goes and I get it. That may be
uh,
because they don't know how. And
they
I
don't
that's
know.
what I they don't know how to
Yep, that's
say
it.
what she's about to say is not an attack on me. It is a
Yeah.
reflection that's coming from her that she needs to express. And even if I feel attacked, even if she says I'm the root cause for her feeling that way, I need to understand what actions did I do that made her feel that way. Was my
Mm-hmm.
actions misinterpreted? Or yeah, damn it, that's how I wanted you to feel because I ain't like what you did before I gave that reaction. So
Mm-hmm.
I get that a lot of men that I've dated, and I'm only speaking on the ones I've
Me
dated,
too. Me too.
hung out
Me
with,
too.
married, engaged, whatever we were, that I've hung
Yeah.
out with. I can only speak to them where it appeared because this behavior was a pattern. They truly did not know how to prepare or how to respond when I'm sick when I'm about to say something. And they
Yeah.
did not know how to provide safety for me to feel
For,
like I
mhm.
can speak how about what I thought or felt.
And they didn't know that you respect them enough to
To
listen to their point of
come
view
on
and
now.
accept it for what it is right now. They
Come
didn't know
on.
that they second guess everything.
Yes.
And women do it too. We second guess like, oh, he about to leave me. He about to, but that is a part of that underlying connection that you should have with your significant other. You're absolutely right. I do respect you, and I respect you enough to bring this to your attention so we can
Yes.
work these things out, because
Yes.
I love you and
Hmm.
I want to be here with you.
And I want
Yeah.
this environment to be healthy for you
Mm-hmm.
as well as me because if I'm feeling a particular way, the atmosphere is now off kilter. It is
Yep.
tainted there is a weight in the air, and it could be unbeknownst to him, but
Yep.
very well known to me. I'm acting different, I'm thinking different. I can't have a complete freedom, and men pick up on it, and they will know that there's not a complete freedom for them as well. Like, you all right? Yes. And they know that yes really is not a true yes.
In Hebrew, the word woman is like mule or something. It's a glue.
Okay.
So, in a sense, the woman is the glue
Mm,
of the environment. And when things are off balance for her, the whole earth feels it.
mm,
And all we ask is that you can reassure what we're feeling
that's
or
the
explain
safety.
it to me a different way
That's the
so
safety.
I can understand.
That's the safety.
That's the safety.
That's
That's
the
the
safety.
safety. Well,
Absolutely.
you know what? My next relationship, I need for us to sit down and create a plan. I know it may sound a
Diagram.
a diagram because I want to know exactly what is going on, and I promise you, it's a reason why I'm asking you because I care enough to know what's going on. We have been so traumatized biologically. Again, when we are traumatized, we don't develop the way we should. So say that I was first traumatized at the age of 35 and right now I'm 40. I'm still maybe operating at a 36-year-old even though I'm
Mm,
the age of 40. It says 40 on the paper, but I still may be operating at 36 due to the fact that I was not able to get the proper steps that I need to get over that trauma. I'm still in that trauma and it lingers. That's why what Prince say, at your age, not your shoe size,
mm-hmm.
because of the fact that when we are traumatized, our developmental stages stop. We stop
Finish.
right there
Hmm.
unless we get what we need. So, you may have a 21-year-old man, but he operating at a 15-year-old. And you're like, he acts so immature. Yeah, because he is.
Hmm.
Very much so. Because he is. The number for man to be fully ready for a full-blown relationship, statistics say is 40 to 41 years old. That's when they kind of ready. That's what statistics say. Um,
Ah, ah, ah.
it's
I,
for
I, I know
139.
some jokers define them statistics.
Yeah, that's right, right. And I know a couple myself too. But
Ah,
40
ah.
is taken away from us through childhood and the way we were raised. It, it,
True.
it, it doesn't follow like it should.
Right.
Just because he's 21 don't mean he's operating at a 20. Like you said, just because he's 50 don't mean he's operating at a 50. He might be operating at 39,
Right.
maybe even 35.
And I get it because
Depending on
trauma
you.
stunts that growth where it almost holds you hostage because
Yes,
you
it
begin
does.
to think it's like the people, men, women, whomever, that say all whatever gender, all of them ain't no good. It is because at that moment you have stopped
Yep.
developing past the trauma of this person, or if there were others before that being hurt. I always
Bingo.
I'm gonna toot myself, toot toot toot, toot my horn. Pride myself on every relationship I went into. I didn't bring the baggage from the previous one into that one.
Yep.
They were a new person. This is a new circumstance. This is a new situation. They all started with a clean slate. They had the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to show me who they were. Now, some of them
Mm-hmm.
turned out to be jokers still, like, oh, you a joker too. But they were not punished for the actions of the previous. And can I say the rest of them? I kind of been treated that way too. They all kind of gave me a clean slate as well. Um, it was still just other things that they needed to complete them, and I was okay with it. That's always been my thing. I'm just not your person. You're a good person. And I'm a good person. We're just not each other's person, and I'm okay with that. I try to give everybody that clean slate that opportunity to show, and I made, and here's why I agree finally with what she said in the clip. I maintained respect for them even though I no longer loved them the way that I did. The love
Mm-hmm.
was gone, but I maintained respect. That is probably the reason why I'm still friends with everybody I meet.
Yep. Yep.
I I respect them to the highest. They can
Yep.
call me, they can text me. I respect them as an individual, just not they're just not my person for a relationship. But the respect surpassed the love. My brother told me that like respect will outlive well go when the love is gone. Love comes and goes,
Yes.
but the
Yes.
respect will still be there. So yeah, Alyssa, I want to be respected. And I'm like, oh, every man that gave me something responded, gave me their reason. And then I had one cousin say, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that looks like. What does that mean? So we had the
Mm-hmm.
conversation a bit more. Then he understood, like, oh, okay, now I understand what you're saying about safety. But his was still out the gate, respect. I need to be respected for the things that I do as a husband, as a partner, as a member of the family. I need to be respected for the role that I play. Now,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the love thing, but respect me and we can continue to navigate in the
Yes.
relationship, marriage with the respect that you're giving. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get it. I get it.
A
But
lot of times when people can't move away from individuals and say, hey, we just not meant, that is abandonment issues. Abandonment issues. A lot of people have abandonment issues because remember I said tell me if you still mad at your daddy for leaving y'all when you was little. You
ooh,
have abandonment issues because that matters. That means if I decide to say I'm done, you're going to go crazy because
mhm.
you have abandonment issues. So that's why I'm like, we need to run down a plan. On my next one, we running down a plan. And this is not to make anybody feel any type of way. It's just so we can get things out in the open and be human. I think we forget that we're all human too. We all have flaws. It just depends. Don't take away what I'm going to consider it to accept. Don't take that away from me. Don't
Exactly.
give me half-ass. Can we cuss on here? Can we cuss on here? Oh, don't give me half truth. And when the other
I
truth
think
comes
so.
out,
Facebook, YouTube, we can. We can. I think we can.
oh, sorry. Don't give me half of the truth, and then when I get the rest of it, then you like, oh well, no, you're taking away my
My the option.
my own understanding and what I want to deal with and not deal with. That is not
Yes.
fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
That goes for men and women. That goes for men and women. Our women have got away from being who they are, and men are scared. Bless their heart. Little man is scared. He's scared that she gonna take him for what he got.
Chris
They
said.
scared.
Chris talked
They
about that.
scared.
Chris. We talked about that. Chris. Shout out to Chris. Chris Ray, life coach. He was a guest previously, and Chris has spoke on this. Chris says that
Yeah.
when we're together, I mean, when we're living together, we're paying bills. I'm paying the bills. I consider us married. With men, we're considered married when we're living together. We're paying bills. We're having sex. He said it's
Mm-hmm.
when it comes down to signing that contract, and you trying to tell me that if you leave, this don't work out, you get to take my money, you get to take my
Yeah,
stuff,
like a
and that's
problem.
the problem.
Like I didn't. No, no, because why? Where everybody each men and women want to be treated equally.
Mm.
And men per se, because they are already battling this world, unfortunately, we can go in and look how we look, but they can't. That's a different stroke for different folks. But we, because they have so much on the line,
Mm.
it's sometimes it's hard for them to say, yeah, I'll be with you, but what if it don't work? You gonna take my stuff? I don't know if I could sign. It ain't cut and dry like that, but I don't think I can sign up for that. And they are scared to commit themselves to that situation. It's sad to say.
No, it's
That's
not.
why we need a game plan. Yeah, we need a game plan. Yeah, we need a game plan.
We need a prenup before we go
We
in.
need a prenup when we sit down
Ah.
immediately. We just both genders, both people, I guess I would say, whether you're playing a masculine role, whatever the case may be, um, come to an agreement in regards to why you guys are here. What are we here doing? Are we here playing house, as my grandma would say, playing house? Or are we trying to build a foundation and build generations, and even if you don't love me today, like you said, Lisa, I just need you to respect me enough to at least, can you fix me some food? I know you don't love me right now, but can I eat?
Right.
And with a mature woman, she's going to say yeah. Or with a woman that respects you, she's going to say yeah. Even though you get on my mother,
Hmm.
I want to take you out. I see you over there struggling with your throat.
It's getting there. It's
It's
remember
getting
I
there.
told you in 3 days it's gonna either get better or next week it'll be worse. It's annual
Yeah.
and I don't even understand it. This has been an annual thing for years. I even called Scott the other day. I was like, hey, I think it was yesterday. Like, hey Scott, remember when me and Cassandra would always get sick? She would get sick the first week and the next week I'm sick. Like, well, Cassandra, bless her heart, she's passed, but I'm still getting the annual
Mhm.
laryngitis, cold, whatever this thing is. My son walked in and he was like, "Ma, you and I see get this every year." Like, we sure do. Same time of
Yeah.
year. So I don't
He
know if
pointed
it's just
out.
my body like, hey, hey, but it just does this. This
That's
I
just
don't know
what
if
it
it's
does.
yeah, I don't know if it's a cold or this is I don't know. Anyway, but I was going to do this. I was still going to struggle and get through this because
Right.
I
Yes.
wanted this to be brought up because I wanted people to understand. And what I hate that I didn't do was poll women about the safety over love. So women, I'm polling y'all now. We done this, but still, I got this podcast. If you prefer safety over love, or you prefer love over safety, drop me a line, inbox me,
Yes.
text
Yes.
me something, because the men they were like on it immediately, and they kind of stood firm, except for that one, and that one he I mean he made a good argument too. He's just a little different anyway.
So I did speak to my coworker. That was in. She's married, and she has been with her husband for about 28 years or something like that. She said before, um, they were living their best life for the first 10 years, living their best life, going out, went took 3 trips to Hawaii, just living it up.
Hmm.
But then the cracks start to cracking.
Mm.
Yeah, it started to cracking and it started to seep through. That foundation wasn't so secure as she thought it was over the fun and excitement. So she had to deal with some mental health issues of what was going on with him. And she said, no, I didn't love him, but I respected him. So that's why I stayed. And I didn't feel quite safe with my feelings, but I still stayed because I respected him. The love teeter-totter, and it was because, again, I respected him. It's because I stayed through everything. She said I was losing it.
Oh
I
wow.
was losing it, but I held close to him because I respected him. That's what she said.
Wow.
She said, and in that respect, I did have, I did lose my security because we had lost everything.
Mm.
So I was like, well, where did you feel secure at that things would get better? That's where she felt safety at, that things would get better. I'm like, oh, you a good one, because I would have been like,
Baby.
I gotta go. I gotta go. You going ziggity boom, you doing all this extra stuff. She said that safety, she said she felt safety because she already knew what he could be,
The potential.
the potential.
Potential of
Because she had known him before the cracks started to spear out.
now see, and I was the opposite. I lo- I love Scott. Hey Scott. You
It's
was around
not,
for the debacle. I loved Scott, but my respect towards the end of our marriage, my respect for him was gone. I did
yeah,
not have the respect for him, but I loved him enough to step away from the marriage. Like I say, allow him to pursue what I believe he needed to find, whatever it was, whomever it was, for him to feel complete because he had evolved as I had evolved, but
yes,
the evolution did not evolve in the same direction. So I
yeah,
still loved him. I didn't have the respect for him. And in the name of love and the interest of love, I stepped back to allow him to do it. Now, I love and respect him now. We cool. That's my dude. Hey Walker. What's good
mm-hmm.
with you?
So,
Hey
what's
Scott.
up?
but but at that moment, I did not have the respect. The respect was gone, but the love was there. But the behavior in the end is still, because I loved him enough to set him free, the respect returned. The
Yeah,
love went away, the respect returned, and the respect has been steady.
mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess the respect does last a little longer. He'll probably tell you that too. Like, you was disrespectful as hell.
Yes. Well, respect and love. Respect, love, safety, honesty, vulnerability. Those are all action words
Yeah,
that that is needed in a healthy relationship.
right.
We are so egotistical and so boastful and so prideful that we don't honor these words so they can continue our relationships.
Yeah,
We are so scared that everybody gonna talk about you in the whole wide world,
girl.
about your whole relationship, that we can't even allow those words to do what they need to do in a relationship. Love is patient, love is kind, love doesn't boast. Love has many
Revival.
different
Mm-hmm.
faces.
Mm-hmm.
Safety has many different faces, as you said, Alyssa, like safety, emotional safety, financial safety. It's different safeties. Respect, like those are action words, and I don't think we allow each other to take action in those words because we have a ego, a big one, huge one, humongous, gigantic. I'm sorry. And that's me too, because I will get egotistical in 12 seconds. But Yeah, but I'm aware of it. I'm aware when my ego kicks in, and I'm like, are you trying to be prideful right now?
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to be, are you in your ego right now? Are you allowing that
Right.
person a fair,
You
yeah,
want to
a
be
fair
right.
chance?
Right.
Yeah, we want to be right. Um,
Right.
yeah, yeah. So I did drop that 5 love languages, and again, I strongly, matter of fact, I'm about to do mine next week because I like this guy, and I need to see what's going on. So I'll be doing mine next week, but it is very important for you to learn yourself and understand that different things play a factor in the evolving of yourself.
True.
It really does. And me and Alyssa can see somebody get hit by a car, and I may be able to heal from that trauma, and it may take Alyssa 3 years.
I never cross the street again.
See, bingo.
Right.
So everybody, it's somebody told me it takes all type of people to make the world go round.
Right.
That means you are not that person that's in front of you or next to you or in the house with you or in the bedroom with you. You don't know them, so it's your job to get to learn or to learn them, because that's what you agreed to. You agreed to learn this person. You
Mm-hmm.
agreed to understand this person. This is what you agreed to. Now I was I just asked that everybody learns themselves before they can even commit to anybody else. It would save a whole lot of things. You would, before you know, okay, I want to talk about this crazy relationship I was in. I thought I was healed, but he did something and I got ghetto real quick.
Triggered.
It was a trigger.
Triggered.
So I wasn't even healed from the stuff that had happened in my childhood, that he did something and I got real ghetto real fast. But I thought I was healed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And my ego didn't allow me to explain myself either.
It just went to the behavior because it was
Yep.
triggered. So you ripped back to the behavior, the response that garnered that
Yep.
behavior to begin with.
And it spiraled down.
Right.
And because I'm in a reflecting state, I'm able to know that happened because I'm open minded about healing and being a better version of myself for the person that I meet. So I'm like, I got this wrong. I'm working on this. I got 2 more weeks working on this, and then I got 5 more months to be working on this. So you can know what I have identified as something that I'm struggling with. And so either you're gonna work with me or you're not. But 9 times out of 10, if that person like you, they're gonna be like, we all
I rock
right.
with you for a little bit.
I rock with you. Yeah,
I rock with you
I
for a little
got
bit.
you. I got you. Because they respect you for being vulnerable to them. And they feel safe with you being vulnerable to them. So that's why they're willing to go through this love thing with you. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on
Yeah.
here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, where can everybody reach out to you? Your socials.
So
Excuse me.
if you want to, so I go live every Saturday on Facebook and YouTube, Astonishing Figures. If anybody has someone that you feel like is an astonishing figure, you can email me at astonishingfigure1955 at gmail.com and let me know so I can highlight them because they are astonishing figures. They are making changes. They are making moves in their own vibe, and they are trying to change the atmosphere into a positive one. And that's why they are an astonishing figure. So Facebook, astonishing figure. YouTube Astonishing Figures, and my email is astonishingfigures1955 at gmail.com. And TikTok. And TikTok. Yeah. If you know astonishing figure, let me know. Let me know. Let me know who's astonishing in your life right now. It could be a mom, and we can go on here and do it. It could be a mom. It could be a teacher. It could be a friend. Like, you know what? She done got me through some times by her words. Let me know, and I want to highlight them because they need to be praised too for their efforts to make the world a little bit better.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. This
Oh,
was fabulous. I mean, the technical difficulties took a minute, but we got there.
right, right. Because I was like, listen, I can't see you. I can't see you, Lisa. Okay, send it again, Lisa. I don't know.
I've
But
never
yeah,
done
I am
this.
so thankful.
I'm glad you agreed to come on. I have to have you back because a lot of the things that you touched on previous episodes with previous guests and
Yes,
revisited.
yes,
I would love to
yes,
have
yes.
two of you all on at the same time. Like I would love to
That
have
would
you and
be
Tracy on at the
awesome.
same
Get
time.
that
That would
together.
be
I need that in my life. I need that.
yes, definitely.
So stay tuned, y'all, because that's going. Woo! And then this time we won't have tech. I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be ready. Be ready.
Now
Y'all
that
hear
I
my
know what to do, that was on me. Now that I know what to do, I know to get the invite and then go live. So I got it now. My voice, and hopefully I won't sound like Melvin or Barry White or somebody in the Temptations or somebody from the '70s.
that was my favorite one. What are you talking about?
Girl, I love Paul. Paul was my guy.
Hard,
So
I know.
so thank you once again for tuning in
Absolutely.
to the Dick and Conversation podcast. Hopefully you are listening to me on Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, or watching me on YouTube. You can also watch me on Spotify. My socials are Dick and Conversation underscore podcast. My Facebook is Dick and Conversation podcast. And my 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 email is dickandconvo@gmail.com. And the YouTube channel is Dick and Conversation Podcast. Before I go, I have to give a huge thank you to Channing Crowder of the Pivot Podcast. I love the Pivot. The Pivot is just that to me, that podcast gives the safest space for men to speak and be vulnerable. They're supportive. I
Yes.
love that podcast. So I sent a message to Channing and Channing responded encouraging me about my podcast and how to keep going and continue to get the content that vibe with my viewers and remember the end game. So Channing, thank you. Thank you. I
Thank you, Shannon.
appreciate that. I know, right? I was shocked. I was like, Shannon responded, but it was a shot in the
Yes,
dark. He
he did.
responded. So
Mhm.
I appreciate that, Channing Crowder. Thank you. And I also want to thank you and welcome to my newest global listeners in the country of India. I don't know what y'all doing down in India,
Yay!
but thank you, India. So, once again, this has been the Dick and Conversation podcast. I'm Elissa, and I will see you next week.